Friends, as we have already seen, there are 7 types of binding, out of which we have seen string interpolation binding in the last video. In this video, we are going to see property binding. Now, property binding, under this topic, I'm going to cover just 2 main things. The first thing is, what is the difference between an attribute and a property? So basically, attribute is used more by the HTML, it never changes, and property is used more by the JavaScript or TypeScript in our case, and it changes dynamically. So whenever you have to bind the model to something, you always bind the property because it is changeable, it is flexible, it's variable. But you cannot bind attribute because it is fixed. Once you give its value and the page is loaded, it cannot be modified. So this is the difference between an HTML attribute and a JavaScript property, and that is why you say property binding and you do not say attribute binding. Okay, so this is what I'll cover in this particular video. Second thing that I'll cover is what are the various syntaxes for property binding. So a very well-known syntax is let us say your property name is value, then you will just encapsulate it in a square bracket, and this is the way you will property bind it. But another syntax that is lesser known to public is bind dash property name. Even in this way you can bind it, you can bind that particular property. So this also I will cover in this particular video. So let's get started. So before we proceed, I'll tell you where the application is, what is the status. So when you don't give any route, it redirects to index route. And this is the new route that I have just created. So what I did for this is I went to app-routing.module.ts and I have just created this particular route for index. So whenever you say /index, it should go to index component. Okay, and when you don't give anything, that means your route is blank. At that time, it should redirect to this particular route. Okay, and path match should be full. So don't worry about path match at the moment, but just understand that when you don't give anything, it should go to this route, and this route says that show the index component. So this index component will be shown in this particular place. See, in this particular place, you will be seeing whatever is the router component, and the routed component is index component. So it will be showing index component below your title. And when you click on the title, it should redirect to this particular route. And what is index route? Again, you should be seeing this particular page, that is index component. So when you click over here, you get redirected to this particular route. So this is what I've already done, and I have committed it onto my master branch. So in the future videos, this is how the master branch will be, and I'll be creating topic specific branches from this master branch. Now that being said, let us start with creation of our topic specific branch as we always do. So I'll click on the branch name to see all the available branches. So these 2 are my local branches and these 2 are my remote branches. Why? Because here I see remote keyword written over here, remote. Here I also see Angular crash course, which is my repository's name. So they start with the repository name. So that is why these 2 are remote branches, means my cloud branches, means the branches that exist over here on my cloud. And there is one branch master and there's one branch topic 1, which are my local branches. So this remote branch also has commit ID this, and my local branch also have commit ID this. So that means these 2 branches are in sync. Similarly, my master branches are also in sync. Now let me create a new branch. So create new branch from. I'll give the new branch name as, let us say, topic 2 property binding. Now notice that I have given spaces in between. Actually, Git does not allow you to have spaces in branch name, but Visual Studio Code IDE will convert my input to proper Git format. So I'll just enter. It did not give me an exception. That means it has converted it to the proper Git format. And now it is asking me that you will be creating this particular branch. See, it has added dash to it. wherever I had given space. And then it is asking me this branch should be created from which branch. So I can select any one of these branches. So I'll be selecting the master branch. Either I can select this master branch or the remote master branch, because both of them are at the same commit ID. That means they are in sync. So I can select any one of them. And immediately that branch got formed over here. As you can see, there's a cloud icon over here. So that means when I click over it, it will get published onto the cloud. So presently my local Git has these many branches, and there are only 2 branches on my remote Git. That means my cloud Git. You can also confirm this by going to branches. Here I see only 2 branches. Okay, but now as soon as I publish it, this branch will start showing up over here. So let me refresh this. It has still not come. Okay, it is still loading, so it takes a bit. Yeah, now when I refresh it, you're able to see that particular branch over here. So I'm telling all this in detail to you because you get trapped into this kind of little issues, and then you do not find a proper tutorial where you can get the proper hand holding into these things. That's why I'm not skipping anything. This is an end-to-end video. Whatever I do, every little step is a part of this video. Okay, now on this topic 2 branch also, we are just seeing this HTML page as it is. Right now I want to write something for this. I want to create a hyperlink over here, and when I click on it, I should be able to see that particular page. So how do I do that? First of all, let me create a component for my topic 2. So I will go to a new command line terminal, and I will just write here ng generate component by the name topic 2. Now Visual Studio IDE or this Angular CLI, this is also intelligent. You can just write topic 2. It will automatically capitalize it. It will do a lot of things with it. Just like if I had to create an index component, I would just write ng g c, g for generate, c for component, and index. I don't have to worry about the thing that, you know, it will be creating an index folder, and inside it will be creating these 4 files, and the nomenclature will be used properly. Like it will be index.component.html. So clearly it is visible that, you know, index is a component and this is the view part of it. That means it is the HTML part of it. Okay, and at the end of this command completion, you will be even seeing what it has done. So it is telling you very loyally that, you know, I have created these 4 files, and of course you can see over here that it has created a folder and encapsulated these files into that particular folder. And it is also saying that I've updated app module.ts. Now where is app module.ts? Here is app module.ts. So what has it updated? It has just imported this particular component over here, and under declarations it has added topic 2 component. So it is very loyal, this, you know, Angular CLI. Please do make use of this Angular CLI, and it's a demon at your discourse. So, you know, you can use Angular CLI for a lot of things, and it is such a simple command, and it does all these things in a very neat way. If you were to create these components manually, then definitely you would make some mistake or the other. Like there could be human error in the name of the file, or you will definitely not follow this much of, you know, nomenclature. Like you should be giving topic 2 dot component.html, and then what should it be? It means how should the casing be? It should be like camel cased every single time. So you might not be able to do that. So better resort to using Angular CLI. Now that we have created topic 2 component, let us create a route for it. So go to app routing module once again, and here you will be creating something like this. I'll just copy this particular route and paste it here. Instead of index, I want the route to be topic 2, and it should redirect to topic 2 component. Also, since we are on topic 2 branch, I want the default route to be topic 2. Okay, and notice that this is not getting identified because I haven't imported it. So either I can write an import statement myself, or I can just go to the end of this. I can type control space, and this will trigger the IntelliSense, and it will find the entire project for this particular word, and it has found this particular word in this particular TS file and this particular class. So it is showing it up over here in IntelliSense. So I can just click on it, or I can press enter. In either cases, what it will do is it will import this particular component. So now its reference is available, so this error is gone. Now if I only go to this particular terminal window where I have written ngserve open, so my developer server is open. I mean, it has already compiled, and compile is successful. Now if I go over here and if I see, I think it has refreshed also automatically. When I click over this, okay, it has not refreshed. So Control R to refresh it, or you can click over here for refreshing. You can click here also for reloading the page. Now when I click over here, it should be going to topic 2. Now let me see what is going wrong over there. Let me go to our routing. Yeah, I have given the route properly. This route works also. So if I copy this route and if I paste it over here, instead of index I'm giving topic 2, so it is properly going to topic 2. But then have I created a hyperlink for it? I haven't. So let me create this hyperlink over here. So which is this page? This is my index page. Let me go to index component HTML. Here I will go to this particular thing. Here I have to create a hyperlink, so I'll just go and write here router link equal to topic 2. Now I cannot give topic 2 directly over here, because in that case it will redirect to whichever is the current route, means the index route, and beyond index it will write /topic 2. That means it will actually go like this. Okay, and do we want this? No, we want the route to be only index 2, like this. Okay, and for that I'll have to start this with a /. I'll save it. The page should automatically reload. Yes, it has reloaded. Since I was at topic 2, oh my god, I was at topic 2. Okay, see, this is a problem with Chrome, that since I was editing it, it did not get refreshed. I don't know why. This is a problem with Chrome actually. Yeah. Now when I click over here, I go here. When I click over here, I go here. Okay, so now routing is done. So now we will start with the actual explanation of topic number 2. Now let me start with modifying topic 2 component.html in this way. Instead of writing topic 2 works, I will be creating an input tag. Input type equal to text, and let us see how it looks on the UI. On the UI, when I am at topic 2, it should look something like this. Now notice a few things about it. When you inspect it, and now you go to console, and now when you write $0, then notice that $0 here means whatever thing you had just inspected. So this is a shortcut. When you inspect an element and then say in the console $0, it means whatever thing you had just inspected, that gets selected. Okay, now when I go to this and dot value, so its value is blank, and when I write here $0 dot get attribute value, then it is null. Okay, so now understand what is the difference between dot value and dot get attribute of value. This is the attribute. So what this command will return is the attribute. It is specific to the HTML. Okay, now what is attribute? Attribute means when you write this thing, so input is the tag, HTML tag, and whatever else follows like type, name, ID, all these are what? These are attributes. Okay, so now Is there any attribute by the name value? No, there isn't, and that is why it is showing null. If I would have written give me an attribute by the name ID, then yes, ID does exist because I have given an ID over here. And what is its value? Its value is null. What is the type? What is the value of the attribute type? It is text. See, type is text. So these are attributes. Okay, now these are very specific to HTML. They have nothing to do with JavaScript or TypeScript. Okay, they are very static. So why are they used? Attribute means what? In plain English, attribute means your characteristics. Let us say Amit is a person. What are his attributes? Is he a good person? Is he a bad person? Those are my attributes. Similarly, every HTML tag has attributes which determine how it looks. Like for example, input. So there are various types of inputs. All of them are written as tag input. But if I say type equal to text, then it looks something like this. If I say type equal to checkbox, it looks like a checkbox. Okay, so its attribute is it's the way it looks, its properties. I don't wish to use the word properties, but it is the characteristics of that particular HTML tab. Now, what does HTML do? HTML is only related to the look and feel of your application. It has nothing to do with the response of the application. It is only related to the look and feel. So it will only determine how it looks. So HTML is very much static. Once you display that page, HTML is done with it. Now when you want to make that particular website as responsive, what you need to use is JavaScript. And JavaScript makes it responsive. Means when you click over it, then see this becomes blue. This can be determined using JavaScript. When you hover over it, something else should happen. When you focus out of it, something else should happen. These all responsiveness, these all things can be done by JavaScript. HTML by default doesn't do these things. Yeah, now you might say that, see, I'm clicking over here and it is turning blue. This is done by the browser. Okay, you haven't even programmed for it yet. Let me get to it slowly and steadily. So now you got what is an attribute. Okay, now let me tell you what is a property. Okay, now when I type into this, let us say I have typed Amit. Now let me say what is value. See, its value has changed. But if I say get attribute value, it is still none. Why? Because HTML attribute value is never given over here. Okay, but then something has changed. What is this something? Now this something is not an attribute because get attribute of value is still null. So this is called as property, and this has nothing to do with the HTML. This has to do with the value of this particular thing. Means, see, HTML, what does it do? It only tells you how to render your DOM. Means document object model. That means how to create this page. Now what happens to that page, it is determined by its properties. So now user has gone and user has modified the state of this particular HTML element, and that is why something has changed in it, and that is never HTML attribute. HTML attributes means the things that with which this page was born. Okay, that's it. Once the page is born, after that what changes in the page is the properties. Attributes remain the same. Attributes means what you came to birth with. Okay, those are your attributes. But what really changes in you after that is the properties. So here property value has changed, but attribute value has stayed the same. Okay, so this is what I wanted to emphasize upon. See, value is Amit and attribute is still none because I did not start it with any attribute. Okay, now you get what is the difference between HTML attribute and, let me open that video description so that So now you understood what is the difference between HTML attribute and JavaScript properties. Now HTML attributes are static and they can never be changed once the page is loaded. Okay, they are just meant to give the browser an idea that, you know, initially the page should look like this. So attributes never change. But with user input, what changes is the properties, because they are dynamic, they are variable, they change. Now that is why when you have to bind the component to something, then you cannot choose attribute, you have to choose properties. And that is why you hear the word property binding. There is nothing like attribute binding, because attributes can never be changed. That is why you bind the properties. So this is topic number 1. Now topic number 2, let us start with the syntaxes of property binding. So here let me write here value equal to, let us say, name. So what I have done, I have created an attribute over here. Let us see this thing also, how it works. So it will always start with name, and name is what? Name is nothing. Name is just a string, because HTML doesn't understand anything besides string. Okay, so now see, it is only showing name. Name is just the value name. Okay, now if you go here and see $0, okay, I haven't selected it. See, I haven't selected anything. So you have to first inspect this text box, and then you have to say $0. Now $0, what will it mean? It will mean this particular text box. Now when I say this dot value, it is name. And when I say $0 dot get attribute value, then also it will show as name. Yes, then also it will show name. But when I change this to, let us say, Nitin or anything, then value has changed, but the attribute has remained the same. Do you understand that now? Attribute means it will only look at the HTML. It will say, okay, does input have an attribute by name value? Yes, it does have. And what is its value? Its value is name. So it has never changed. HTML attribute never changes. JavaScript property does change. Okay, now is this any kind of a binding? No, because name is being taken just like that as a string. But notice what happens now. As soon as I encapsulate this into a square bracket, now this becomes property binding. So here I'm not saying HTML property value should be name. No, I'm saying, sorry, I'm not saying HTML attributes value is name. No, I'm saying JavaScript property value should be binded with name, which is what? Name is my, name is an data member of this particular component. Okay, so I'm binding the property value with the data member name. So whatever is the value of name, that should come as the value. Okay, so this is what? This is my property. So let me see now. See, it is directly showing Amit. And now once again, let me inspect it and see. I have inspected it and I'm seeing it over here. $0 dot value. Yes, the value is Amit, because value is what? JavaScript property. And $dot get attribute of value, it is null. Why? Because is there any HTML attribute given? No, this is what? JavaScript property. Have I given anything like this? No, I haven't given. Now I'm giving it. And now let me give it something like name. So here it will just consider this as a string. Okay, do you understand this? Please understand this very carefully. I'm showing it to you again and again because you should not get confused. Once again, I'm inspecting it. Here I'm saying $0 dot value. Value is Amit, of course, but $0 dot get attribute of value will be name string. Yes, it is name string. Okay, you get it now? Now, when I change anything to, let us say, some different name, my brother's name Nitin. Now, in that case, my value changes, means my property changes, but my attribute remains the same. Okay, this is the thing that I wanted to emphasize upon. See, attribute means it is once again seeing over here, does this have an attribute by the name, and it will never change. Okay, so this is the way you do property binding. So properties can be binded like this. Now, as I told you, there can be another way of binding it. I can bind it using this syntax also. So let us see if it works. Okay, I am refreshing the page. And as you can see, even this kind of a thing did work. Once again, let me show you all the scenarios. See, I've inspected it. I've gone here, I've said this dot value, it is Amit, and $0 dot get attribute of value. Yes, it is name. Here I'm writing Nitin. So what will change is value and attribute will stay the same. Okay, so both the syntaxes give you exactly the same results. So either you can write it like bind dash value, or you can write it like value inside square brackets. So this was the end of this video. I know this video was very verbose. I could have made it short, but see, you know, this concept had to seep into your brains, and that is why I had to repeat it again and again. Please do not get confused. This is a property, this is an attribute. Please remember this. If you understand this, the future concepts will come very easily to you. But if you don't understand this, then somewhere or the other you will make a mistake. Okay, so this was your host Amit Shirasao, and thanks a lot to tuning in to Aspire Crisp Tutorials. Thank you.